far as excuses go, can't fault the honesty, hey? So every single Wednesday, we catch up with Carl Williams from Synergy and Synergy Talks. Morning, Squire. How you doing, bud?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. All good. How's things with you, my mate?
Salante. Yeah, really good. Thanks, man. Great to be back on the ones and twos at the weekend. Kicked off down at the Bridge Meadow Oggy Stadium, which was epic. I mean, first gig back, and there I was, literally in the middle of the stadium. I was like, this is pretty cool. Nice to be back. But yeah, on Sunday, I was I think you liked it. You loved it on my story. I was like, right, okay, my legs are really sore, man. I'm like, crikey, I know I've done some steps this weekend. You could see sort of throughout January. And then all of a sudden this weekend, welcome back to 40,000 steps in 3 days, Tobes. Yeah, man.
Oh, that's
so
2 steps back.
Yeah, I'm glad I managed to get some training in January because I have recovered quite quickly. But my goodness me, on Sunday, I was a sack of potatoes, my man.
That's it, mate. It takes it out of you, doesn't it? It's a long weekend. You're full of adrenaline. You're excited to be there again. And you're going to be bouncing around burning some calories here for sure.
I know, mate. Tell me about it. I know I ate my own body weight on Sunday. But yeah, great to be back at it. So this week on Synergy Talks, we have got a great question. This actually from Anne Howard Davis. Now, I think this can be applied to lots of other events and sort of sportives and anything that someone is planning to do this year. And I think what's great, and I'm sure you'll agree with me on this, Carl, being in Pembrokeshire, and having the likes of Long Course Weekend, Ironman Wales, all of these fantastic triathlons, these sportive events, the swims, the cycles, the runs, is that it's so easy for local people to get involved with them, and raise some money for some brilliant causes as well.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. I think, and I suppose I became more apparent and aware of these type of events when I opened the gym nearly 9-10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think back then, it really started to pick up. I think Ironman had been running 2 years in Wales, 3 years in Wales by that time. And yeah, all of a sudden there was an injection of all these sportives, all these little go tries with the leisure centers. Obviously Long Course has been kicking around for a long time and is a fantastic event, and they do them all over the world now. It's so good because it went from the first couple of years of these events where you'd know 2 or 3 people doing something and training out on the roads, and then you would literally know every other person on the road going out and training and whatnot. It was kind of Pembrokeshire just got a hype for outdoor activity, and it's fantastic. What a place to be for those type of events.
And I think because of the likes of these events being on our doorstep, we have got some incredible athletes that have come through the ranks as well. Of course, you've got your Ollie Simons to name but a few, but even good friends of mine like Mark Edwards, who, hadn't even jumped on a bike until we did PEMS to Paris some 6-7 years ago now. And then all of a sudden, I think, he's done loads of Ironmans, doing the Long Course Weekends. Loads of his pals have jumped on it. Graham Williams as well, and I mean, these guys are just absolute inspirations to so many people. No spring chickens, they'll happily admit that, but they are going out there smashing it, doing better times than the youngsters. It's just so good to see it happening.
It's fantastic, and it's what I've really enjoyed doing is obviously I've been getting around now a bit in Pembrokeshire. I'm kicking on in years a bit, and going through the last couple of seasons before lockdown. You were seeing all these different types of people coming in into Ironman and into triathlon from all the different sports. And it was fantastic. I was there playing. I was there when I've done my Ironman and Long Course with rugby players, with footballers, with gymnasts, with swimmers, with teachers, with students. It was fantastic. It was really good to get. I think triathlon and those type of outdoor activities, it can really suit everybody. So, if people haven't tried them yet, why not? We have the best facilities and some of the most challenging courses in the world as well. So get out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, I know you are an Ironman, Carl. So you know how that feeling sort of is. But what about Long Course Weekend? Have you completed that? Have you done the 3 events there as well?
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times. I've done a couple of the just 2 days out of the 3. And when I was doing Ironmans back to back before, there was a bit of a rule and consensus that people would say that if you've got Ironman in 6 weeks' time, unless you are a flat out, full on athlete and you are geared up to be doing your best times and focus specifically on Ironman, you'd only ever do the bike, the swim, and like half the run. You wouldn't kind of like go full pelt and get the best time you could in Ironman in Long Course if you're then going to go and compete in Ironman. They would kind of pick one event like you would do for anything. If you're a boxer, you go to one fight. If you're a bodybuilder, you focus on one event and you hit that as hard as you can, and the other ones are build-ups to it.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I've done the long course. It is as hard, if not harder, in my opinion, than Ironman. And I'll tell you why. It's because you get time to ache and you get time to be stiff, and you get time to think about what you're doing.
Yeah, everyone says that.
It is that. I mean, don't get me wrong. You go to a difficult, hard place when you're doing Ironman, and I cried numerous times on that bike. Especially, the bike breaks you, and you've really got to dig deep. But when you've got time at night and you're aching and you're eating and refueling and you're thinking about what you got to do the next day, that mental torture is I was as tired finishing a long course weekend, or more tired finishing a long course weekend than I was the Ironman.
Yeah, it's an absolute beauty, isn't it? So on to our question this week, which is a beauty from Anne Howard Davis. Hi, Toby and Carl. Loving the feature. So I'm doing a long course weekend this year. What advice have you got for my training? Great question. And I mean, hats off. First, Anne Howard, well done for doing this, because it's not easy. So best of luck to doing it. What advice have you got for a Carl?
Well done, Anne Harry. The first step is the hardest, and that is contemplating doing it and then actually putting your name in the hat and saying, right, I'm doing it. It now becomes reality. You should have already been started training if you were really kind of focused on doing it. I'm not sure if it's your first ever type of triathlon athlete event, or if you're a regular trainer. So my advice would be different. But the first thing I would do is I would plan backwards from your day of your event. Start planning your training schedule as to what you can do building up to it. I always recommend getting out and doing some smaller, shorter distances events, so you can kind of get in and you can get practice in, and you can work in the different conditions. And swimming in the sea is always important. The most important thing to do is to practice. I know lots of people that got caught out there. They're a fantastic pool swimmer, but all you got to do is have that little bit of swell, that little bit of offshore breeze, that wind with that spray, those people hitting you in the face, kicking you as you go by, and the best swimmer in the world comes unstuck. So if you're not swimming consistently, get in a minimum of twice a week, and that's outside. Even now, if you can, even if you get in the water for 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. Get used to the water, have a swim about, and then obviously work on your stroke, because your stroke and your the way you swim in the sea is significantly different. So if you've not done that, get out and swim that way. Pre-book your events moving up to it. Speak to other people. Find yourself a buddy if you can. Get engaged in all in the talks and the groups, and get excited about it. What I would definitely recommend is whatever scares you most, do more of that. Because the anxiety that goes along with these type of events is much less when you kind of face your fears and you can kind of bring everything up to a par. So try not to worry too much, and the way that you overcome worrying about something is doing it more. Yeah. So really push on. Don't go too hard either. Start easy and progress. If you're doing now 3 hours a week training, don't jump it up to 6 hours a week in 2 weeks. Don't jump it up to 8 hours. Don't go in, if you've only done, a 1 hour bike, don't go and do a 5 hour bike. All you're going to do is hinder yourself. You're going to hurt yourself. Build it up, slow and steady progression. It's the tortoise and the hare. Make sure you have rest days. Rest days and nutrition are the most important when you're doing these events. You're going to feel like if you're doing it to do your best time, you're going to feel like it's going to take over your life. So you really need to time management is important. Make sure after any big events and any hard workouts, you get your rest and you get your nutrition. And if in doubt, find a coach. That's what we're here for. We do this day in, day out. We take all type of clients through and all type of people through this journey. And the journey is different for every single person. So it isn't necessarily go and get one of the plans online and have a go at that. It will help. It will put you in the right direction. But everybody's different. Everybody needs a there. So always rest, always fuel, and get as much experience of enjoying it as you can.
Some great advice there, Carl. And yeah, that C, it's the one that's going to catch you out. My goodness me, different ball game out there. Some cracking advice. Of course, you can reach out to Carl as well on Howard if you would like Carl to coach you through it. He's been there, done that. Got many a t-shirt on that one. So what a great person to take you through it. Thanks, Carl, for catching up with us, buddy. And don't forget, you can message Carl directly. Synergy online right now on the socials. That's Synergy Talks here on Pure West Radio every Wednesday. Get your questions in as well on our socials at Pure West Radio. Carl, have a great week, buddy, and look forward to catching up with you again next week.
Cheers, dude. Take care.
It's the latest Pembrokeshire news on Pure West.